Hello friends, looking at current affairs for 7th July. The news items picked up from the Hindu newspaper are these 7. We'll look at them in detail. The first one, no Modi-Xi meeting at G20 as atmosphere is not right. So this is actually the Chinese authorities saying that the atmosphere is not right. This is in the context of the standoff which we are seeing in the trilateral region. The trilateral junction between India, China and Bhutan, the Doklam region. We have been discussing it almost every day now. So this is the reason because of which Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Chinese President Xi Jinping would not meet on the sidelines of G20 summit, which is taking place presently in the first week of July in Hamburg, Germany. So this is there. So what is now important here is G20, which has come up for now. So we'll discuss that. Already we have discussed the Doklam standoff, and we know that Beijing has stated that Indian troops should be withdrawn from this region and then only peaceful resolution can take place. That is a precondition for talks which Beijing has kept. So this we have already discussed the whole issue almost every day now. So going ahead, what is G20 now? So G20, as the name suggests, it's a group of 20 nations. So these 20 nations altogether comprise 85% of world's GDP and over 75% of world's trade. So these are the nations you can see. So there are developed, developing countries all included here, prominent countries included here. There are 19 nations and the 20th member is actually European Union, right? So India, China, Russia, all are members here. You can see US, Canada, Mexico. From South America, you have Brazil and Argentina. Even from EU, Britain, France, Italy and Germany have representation. So though they may be EU members too, Britain has opted out. They are still individually represented too at G20. And from South Africa, from Africa. So these are the nations. You have Australia, Japan, South Korea. Right? Then this is regarding the genesis, how G20 was formed. It was established in 1999. So it's actually a group of 20 nations, but these finance ministers or central bank ministers meet actually. But then later, even G20 summits with leaders of the nations have also been initiated. So these summits also take place. So here you can see 1999 when Asian financial crisis was seen in 1997. After that, it was established G20 to bring in stability in global financial markets, right? So this was the purpose with which G20 was formed, and after the global financial crisis in 2008, G20 has now become a more effective platform for bringing in an end to the crisis as such, the financial crisis. And these are the nations here again mentioned. All members of G8 are members here too. Then next is jobs admissions on fake certificates not valid, says Supreme Court. So these are fake caste certificates which are used to acquire jobs in the government sector and even for admissions. So in such cases, actually the Bombay High Court had ruled that if a person has acquired jobs with these fake certificates and is in service for a long period of time, then they can be allowed to continue in the service. So this was the Bombay High Court ruling. So Maharashtra government has also appealed against this ruling in the Supreme Court, and now the Supreme Court ruling has come that no, it cannot be allowed. They have these certificates which they have used are forged certificates, and how can you allow them to continue? This will not be allowed. So that is the ruling of Supreme Court, but it has also clarified that this will not be applicable with retrospective effect. Means whatever has already happened, that will not be changed, but from now onwards, you cannot use these forged caste certificates and continue in the job. So they have to stop now, right? This is it. Then the next news item is, why not use VVPAT units for Gujarat polls? Supreme Court asks Centre. Asked Election Commission. So actually the Supreme Court has asked the Election Commission to use this VVPAT machines. So first you should understand what are these VVPAT machines. Voter Verifiable Paper Audit Trail Units. So these have been recommended by the Supreme Court to be used for all EVMs. So all EVMs should have these VVPAT machines attached to them. So this will be a huge cost, and the government has also made allocation for this. So for the next General Assembly elections too, it is expected that we will have all VVPAT machines in place. But we already have around 87,000 VVPAT machines. And the government and the Supreme Court is asking them to use for assembly elections because we already have them. But Election Commission is saying no, some of them are faulty. So that is the problem which they are stating. So you can see here, there are 87,000 VVPAT machines. But the election commission is saying that some have glitches. And for the Gujarat state assembly elections, which are due in 2017 now, the number of VVPAT machines which would be required are around 71,000 machines. So this is a petition before the Supreme Court which is asking that VVPAT machines should be used, but the election commission, it seems, is reluctant. So that's what the Supreme Court has given a warning to, that either you don't make excuses and implement the use the VVPAT machines. If not, then the court will be compelled to pass an order. So it says that we can pass an order and put it into effect. So this is the stern warning given as such to, don't force us, we can enforce our orders. This is the Chief Justice of India stating. So it has given 4 weeks time to the Election Commission to reply on this. And also the petitioners had highlighted Supreme Court's 2013 judgment. This was Subramaniam Swamy versus Election Commission of India. In this case, the Supreme Court had ruled that paper trail is an indispensable requirement of free and fair elections. So because if there is a paper trail, then there can be an easy checking of whether the votes counted under the EVMs are also correct or not. So what is this VVPAT? It's very important to understand. You can see here. So with the EVMs, there is this VVPAT machine attached. So what happens is the voter will have a printout which will come out. So once you press on the EVM machine which party you want to vote for, which candidate you want to vote for, so that printout which comes, it will show the voter that whether he has registered his vote correctly or not, whether it has been registered correctly or not. So if he can verify it, so means voter verifiable, and this paper actually trail is kept. It is not a sheet which is handed over to the voter. It stays in the machine. So VVPAT machine has this paper in place, so it will have a trail, complete trail. Means later when you want to check how the voting has taken place, this paper audit trail can be used. So that's the idea. So VVPAT paper audit trail is being proposed here. Then the next news item is AP Telangana raise issues before Krishna Water Tribunal. So Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, they are putting their arguments before the Krishna Water Dispute Tribunal 2. So Krishna Water Dispute is also a long-standing dispute. It is the third longest river in the country after Ganga and Godavari, and it flows through Maharashtra, Karnataka, and Andhra Pradesh, and after Andhra bifurcation, of course, Telangana. So now presently there are 4 riparian states here in which the Krishna Water Basin lies, and the dispute is a long-standing dispute on which Krishna Water Dispute Tribunal 1 was already set up. That was Bachawat panel. So that Bachawat panel gave its ruling, and it had stated that after that ruling, if there is a need to relook into it. So that relook was after 20 years. So you can see it was in 1969 that the tribunal was set up. So then the tribunal, this is the Justice R.S. Bachawat, a former judge of Supreme Court, who gave its ruling. So it was 1976 when the ruling came. So when the ruling came, after that there was a need to relook at it too. So for that the second tribunal was established, Brijesh Kumar Tribunal, which has also given its interim order. So additional allocation order has also been given. So you can see the 3 states, the distribution as amongst them for the available water has been done by Bachawat Tribunal also. Additional allocations means interim order has been given by Brijesh Kumar Tribunal also. But then what happened is after Brijesh Kumar Tribunal gave its order, Telangana was formed as a separate state. So now there are not 3 riparian states but 4 riparian states. So then what should be done now? So actually Andhra Pradesh and Telangana both demanded that there should be complete relook at allocation for all 4 states now. While Maharashtra and Karnataka were reluctant, they said that Andhra Pradesh has been divided. So whatever was the share of Andhra Pradesh, you divide between the 2 entities now, Andhra and Telangana. So that was what Brijesh Kumar Tribunal also has accepted, and that is why the news presently which we are seeing, that the hearings are coming from both sides. Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, they are putting forward the arguments and issues before the Krishna Water Dispute Tribunal 2, which is chaired by Justice Brijesh Kumar. So this is there. So this is also reallocation will be done under the provisions of Andhra Pradesh Reorganization Act of 2014. So this gives the specific ruling. So everything when Telangana was formed as a separate state from Andhra Pradesh, so this reorganization provisions have to be there. Everything has to be bifurcated, divided. So provisions are already there in this act. Under this reallocation will also be done under Krishna Water Dispute. So this is there. So here you can see the gist of it is also mentioned. So the states involved, 4 states involved, as we just discussed in Krishna water dispute, and the tribunal, second tribunal set up in 2004. The tribunal gave its verdict in 2013, and 2014 we saw Andhra Pradesh formed as a separate state. So now the tribunal will give its final order with fresh allocation between Andhra and Telangana. And this is the Krishna water basin shown. So this also shows you the rivers, tributaries of Krishna up here too. So Upper Bhima, Lower Bhima, you can see. Then this is Ghat Prabha, Mal Prabha, Tungabhadra. So these are all tributaries of Krishna. So this is the Krishna river basin, which is shared amongst these 4 states. Then the next news item is a famous yatra has a social face online. So this is regarding the Varkari sect, which has this Pandharpur Yatra every year on Ashad Ekadashi. So this Wari presently we are seeing is having an online face also. So there's a Facebook Dindi which has been formed, and this every year there's a social cause also which they uphold. So like they have upheld the cause of drinking water schemes in 2016. There was also these open defecation campaign against open defecation which was launched, in which makeshift toilets were built for pilgrims. So pilgrims go through these villages of Maharashtra. So it's actually the 2 prominent saints of Maharashtra, Tukaram and Dhyaneshwar. So their dindi, this is the palki as you call it, palanquin, that goes from their samadhis to Pandharpur in Solapur district in Maharashtra. So this is carried. So there is this whole pilgrimage which takes place, people moving across on foot. So there are these makeshift toilets also against open defecation which was built for pilgrims. Then another initiative which has been taken is doctors and engineers volunteering with bike ambulance services. And this year also Facebook Dindi, it has focused on girl child. Means trying to implement the provisions Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao. So that is what it is campaigning for now. So this is the social face of the pilgrimage as such shown, but what is important for us is also the cultural aspect of it too, because questions may be asked on that too. So this is a very innovative way to bring in the social cause along with the pilgrimage. And looking at the Pandharpur Wari, the whole details here are shown, you can see. So this is an annual pilgrimage yatra to Pandharpur. Pandharpur is on the banks of river Bhima in Solapur district. It's the seat of Hindu god Vithoba. So this Vithoba deity's temple is here in Pandharpur. So Dindi, as I said, these are palkis, palanquins as you call it. So these palkis are carrying the paduka. Paduka is the footprints of saints. So notably it's Sant Dhyaneshwar and Sant Tukaram. Their paduka means footprints are carried on Dindi from Varkari. From the Varkari means the Varkari is the person who is performing the Vari. So the Varkari sects carry it to Pandharpur, and they are taken from their shrines. So their samadhis, their shrines are there in, you can see Dhyaneshwar's shrine is in Alandi and Tukaram in Dehu. Both regions are in Pune. So from Pune it goes to Solapur. So this is the Dindi. It's actually having 700 to 800 year traditional history as such. So this is there. Another thing which you should know about is that this takes place on Ashadi Ekadashi. So that is the 11th day of the Ashad month of Hindu calendar. So this is an annual pilgrimage. The pilgrims, when they reach there, they take a dip in the sacred river here, because Pandharpur is, again you should know, this is also important. It's located on the banks of river Bhima. So such questions are also asked. So this is geography perspective also here. So it's on the banks of this Chandrabhaga river or Bhima river here that they take a dip and then they visit the Vithoba temple here. So that is this Pandharpur Wari. So Wari means this pilgrimage, and Varkari is a sect. One who performs the Wari is called Varkari. So this is a sect who are the devotees who worship Vithoba. Right? Vithoba is also said to be a form of Lord Vishnu. The next news item is Center doing all it can to help farmers. So this is actually a case before the Supreme Court on the farmers' crisis. Farmers are committing suicide. So in this, the center has responded to the Supreme Court in the court of law. It says that the incidence of suicides by distressed farmers is a terrible tragedy. But then center says that we are doing all that is in our power to tide over this agrarian crisis. So the judiciary has also accepted that it will take time to resolve the economic distress of farmers. But then the schemes which have been launched by the government have to show results. Even Niti Aayog has been working on giving recommendations for addressing this issue of farmer suicides. And the schemes which have already been launched and are in place are being listed out by the Attorney General here, Mr. Venugopal. So the welfare schemes like the agricultural credit scheme, the crop insurance scheme, the rescheduling of loans which has taken place presently in case of crop failures, all that we'll discuss here. So those are the points listed out as such, and the coverage of these schemes will be expanded further is what is being stated. It says that 40% of the farmers have already been covered by welfare schemes, and they are trying to increase the number of farmers under it. So one prominent scheme which the Attorney General mentions is Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana. So what is this Fasal Bima Yojana? We'll see. Also he speaks about Kisan credit card schemes. These are ATM enabled schemes now. So these are schemes which government has launched because the central government also has the objective to double farmers' income by 2020. So that's why these schemes are being launched. So these two schemes are mentioned, and apart from this also the other provisions which have taken place. RBI has taken a lenient view on rescheduling of loans if the crop loss has taken for more than 33%. Even a model act the government says is being formulated, and it will be put into effect. That is State Union Territories Agricultural Produce and Livestock Marketing Promotion and Facilitation Act of 2017. So this will also prevent monopolies and improvise the markets as such in the country. So then other missions like National Food Security Mission, Mission for Oil Seeds, Horticulture Mission, Agriculture Extension and Technology Mission are also stated by the Attorney General that these are the various schemes which we have in place for the welfare of farmers. But then the petitioners are arguing that these schemes are good on paper, but in implementation there is no result seen on ground. So but then the court has given government 6 months time. It says you have 6 months time to work out these schemes, to have these schemes worked out, and the issue will be revisited by the Supreme Court then. So we have to show the progress as such on these schemes. The government on its part has asked the court to give us at least 1 year, but the court has given 6 months time frame presently. So now looking at these prominent welfare schemes to Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana first of all. What is this scheme? This scheme is Fasal Bima, as you understand, crop insurance scheme. So there was already a National Agriculture Insurance Scheme in place. This scheme has replaced it. What is the difference between the old scheme and this scheme is that in the previous scheme there was a cap on premium. So on agriculture insurance you have to pay a premium. Any insurance which you take, you keep paying premiums, and when there is a loss, the insurance company will pay you. But then earlier scheme had a cap. Means 1%, 2% premium cap. That much was how much premium can be taken. But this scheme has no premium cap. Means the premium will be decided by these insurance companies. The idea is since there would be competition, the premiums would go low. So that market will regulate the premiums and premiums would stay low. So that is the expectation actually. So here this is there, plus the farmers are being brought under this scheme by even the loans which they take. When loans are taken by farmers, they have directly come under this Fasal Bima Yojana, and premium deductions are done from their accounts. So that is there. So they are increasing the coverage of Fasal Bima Yojana scheme. Plus another positive point of this scheme is that it is going to give coverage for larger number of aspects too. Even after harvesting, post-harvesting losses which take place, all that is also covered. Localized risks as they are called are also covered under this insurance scheme. So that is one positive aspect to it. So this is there. Then another point which has been brought in under this scheme is because this is an insurance scheme. So if there is a loss, then there seems to be investigation done. The insurance companies would come and check that how much is the loss, and then they would take a decision on it whether insurance should be provided or not. So for that it says that smart technology should be used using smartphones, mobile phones, and even remote sensing should be used to have a quick estimation and early settlement of claims done. So this is also a provision under this Fasal Bima Yojana. So these are the key points under this scheme. Then next, now as the Attorney General also stated in the Supreme Court, it is at ATM based. ATM enabled too. So these are credit cards which are ATM enabled too, so they can withdraw money from the ATM too. So adequate, small, timely, adequate credit can be provided to farmers for various purposes. So of course, when they have a clean record, they have been repaying on time, the credit card is also beneficial for the farmers. So this is there. And the present news which we have done last month only in May or June. So this was RBI and NABARD's announcement on interest subvention scheme. So subvention of 2% on all crop loans up to rupees 3 lakh was provided by RBI and NABARD. Even additional 3% subvention to farmers who are repaying on time was provided. And a subvention you should understand. Subvention basically means whatever is the interest rate. So interest rate, this is a reduction in the interest rate. So 2% reduction. Additional 3% reduction means 5% reduction ho gaya, like that. And a subvention of 2% for post-harvest storage to produce for post-harvest storage of produce for loans up to 6 months. So for short-term loans, there is another, this is for post-harvest storage loans. This is there, and 2% subvention for all farmers who are affected by natural calamities. So these were provisions which were announced by RBI and NABARD as such for this scheme, and center has made available, to 20,339 crores for this interest subvention scheme. So these are the steps being taken as you see. Then another one is ENAM. So electronic national agriculture market. So this is all the market as such being integrated electronically. So means farmers have do distress sale. What is this distress sale? Is that when because their produce is perishable. Farm produce is perishable. So then in that case, they have to sell it off. They can't have this authority to wait and let the prices go high and then they bid. So in that case, what has been provided for is, one thing of course is required is storage facilities. If they are given adequate storage facilities, if cold chains are in place and they can store their produce, then they can wait also. That is one aspect, infrastructure in agriculture which is needed. And another aspect which the government is working on is ENAM. So the entire market regulated, integrated. So farmers register their goods and himself in the mandi. Then he is assigned a licensed commission agent as such. So then the farmers give their crops for quality check in laboratory too, and after the quality check, the prices of the crops is fixed and the bidding starts. So then the bid is loaded as such. So buyers have, can have a bid from all over India. So then they can get the best price as such. So that is what is expected from this ENAM also. That buyers can, of course, then payments also are done electronically and their produce can be sold off. So this is the ENAM scheme which is in place, which has been worked on to. Then next is the last news item. Renewable firms plan $2.5 billion in dollar bonds. So bonds we have discussed earlier too. These are debt instruments. So when the company is taking a debt, so they issue bonds. So Indian renewable power producers are taking dollar bonds, means bonds from international market, means they are taking debt, loan from international market. And the reason for this being because they're not being provided loans in the markets, in the banks, by the banks in the country, because they themselves are suffering from NPLs, non-performing assets, and there are huge amount of NPAs in the power sector also. So they don't want to give any more loans in the power sector. So that is why dollar bonds are being planned as such. That is the news as such. And another thing which has been highlighted is that a solar tariff in the country has gone quite low. So the latest news which had come is in May 2017, when one of the promoters bid 2.44 per unit for a solar park in Rajasthan. So what is taking place is government is asking for bidding. So government is providing land for building solar projects as such. So this land is being provided at nominal prices to these builders, means to these renewable energy companies. So they will generate renewable energy, they will install solar panels here, a solar park would be established, and who would be provided this land? One who make the lowest bid. That this will be the lowest, means per unit of solar energy they will charge rupees 2.44 when solar energy is generated, and they will be connected to the grid, electricity grid. This will be the price. So households and companies, as such, can get this solar energy at this price. So one who bids the lowest price is given that land to develop. So that is what is going on, and we are seeing very low tariffs. This shows the confidence of the renewable energy sector that they can make profits at such low costs, such low tariffs also. So this is good, of course, for the consumers too. And why this confidence? Because India has plans to increase its renewable energy. We have a target of generating 175 gigawatts of renewable energy by 2022. So this is what we have promised under the Paris Climate Accord. Of course, it is dependent on foreign financing. Foreign funding is required for this, but we are aiming for this. So this we are going to increase. Currently, the capacity is only 57 gigawatts. So this 175 gigawatts which we plan to have the renewable energy target, in this you can see for each one it's mentioned. So from 175, 100 is solar, 60 is wind, 10 is biomass and 5 is small hydro projects. And even in 100 solar, 40 is for ultra mega powers, the solar project plants, parks, and then 40 is for rooftop solar projects and 20 for utility scale solar projects. So this you should know about. This will come up in news quite often. And this is regarding the various solar parks which the government is proposing to have established in various states, where this bidding is also taking place. And these are the prices. Price per unit means per kilowatt of solar energy generated. The prices are going lower and lower. So this is a good news. Price per unit. The last we discussed is 2.4. So this is there. So these are the news items. Thank you.